It has been an interesting past couple of days since Disney has assaulted us all with the latest batch of Star Wars crap. The first two episodes of Acolyte are out there, and then of course they're threatening us with the release of the third that is going to go ahead and rewrite what it means to be a Jedi, what it means to be Force sensitive, hell, what the Force even is, but we'll eventually get to that because we have other things to discuss, because in a very, very rare and unprecedented move, Disney has decided to tout the first day's success of one of their shows, which is very interesting. It's definitely not anything that they've done before, but there's been a bunch of different glass ceilings broke in regards to the Acolyte. But as you can see here, this right here, this is nothing new. Okay, there's nothing new calling up this defense that, the Acolyte has been review bombed on Rotten Tomatoes and Metacritic. So it's kind of interesting, right? Because they're just going to go ahead and assume you already know what they mean by review bombing, okay? But you can see in the tiny fine print that's up there at the top, there are general and genuine criticisms amid the review bombing, okay? Like there's reasons to think that this isn't the greatest thing literally ever, but it's kind of weird, right? Because they want to go ahead and say that it's been review bombed, and yeah, of course, they want you to take a look at the right side of the ledger, but on the left, saying that this is far and away one of the best, this is premier Star Wars content, which side is actually being review bombed, guys? But you take a look even further on this, okay? Take a look at the critic side of things, and well, the first one that pops up there, it's like, okay, Nestor Cine desde Hollywood. The mediocrity is strong with this one, at least for the first half. Yeah, of course, and all of these professional critics, okay, all the critics, the top critics that are out there, they got a batch of episodes, the first 4, the ones that are available for everybody right now. Well, that's apparently the best of the bunch, and it only is significantly downhill from there. And as you might have been able to see in this list right here, like you got, okay, your top critics. Okay, IndieWire, I've heard of that. Autostraddle, WAPO, The Age in Australia, Times in the UK. All of your regular hack rags, well, they're giving it, with the exception of the Times. That's interesting. They went rotten, but that's the class right there that when you run it back here, you realize real quick that, 75%, which is still abnormally high, because even the fluff in some of their reviews doesn't really justify them giving this over a 6 out of 10. And even with the adjusted numbers right there, okay, Acolyte Season 1 is the 3rd highest rated Star Wars TV show, which is absolutely insane. And now that it's at 91%, I guess we can go ahead and adjust it accordingly. Now it's going to go ahead and sit comfortably behind the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian, which, does anybody look back on, I guess specifically the second season, because I guess overwhelmingly now everybody realized at the time, Mandalorian, the charm has significantly fallen off in the 3rd season, and a lot of revisionists are going back and just reassessing Season 2 for the shite that it was. But of everything that's on there, like Andor is appreciated by the people that watched it, but we're talking the low watermark for live action Star Wars shows, well, at least what it was. But outside of nobody defending the Book of Boba Fett, and a few weeks after its release, everybody turning on Obi-Wan, after the member berries, the nostalgia glosses started to fade away, everybody rightly turned on that poorly written disaster. And then Ahsoka, well, once everybody woke up from the slumber after the season was over and realized that, yeah, realistically, you only got like 10 minutes of Anakin, 10 minutes of Hayden Christensen. Does that really justify, being a real banger? But the Acolyte, well, shills are still going to shill, regardless, right? But the audience, yeah, they ain't down for this. So what's different? Like, is it any better or worse? At least from the people that I'm listening to that have seen the best 2 episodes of what everybody else has seen so far. Yeah, not really. It kind of still sounds as stupid as the first 2 episodes of Ahsoka. I've watched coverage of, Book of Boba Fett, Kenobi, Season 2 and 3 of Mandalorian. Same with Ahsoka. From what I can tell right now, I don't think it's any worse, because you guys, you have to remember, a lot of those shows were very, very stupid. Book of Boba Fett, took place half of the time with, Boba Fett being the prisoner of Sand People, and he was beaten into submission, and then you were supposed to care about them when their village got massacred. Like, who gives a shit? It was terrible. It was absolutely atrocious. The first 2 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, like, the first episode was probably the most inoffensive thing that I've seen on that list. Then the second episode had baby Leia being completely and totally insufferable with that stupid rescue mission to the not Blade Runner world. Like, it was all very bad. Oh yeah, and you had Reva doing acrobatics and not killing off the Grand Inquisitor because lightsabers are completely and totally useless when you stab somebody with it. Like, all of that stuff was really bad. It's just, have we reached a point in time where Star Wars has hit peak apathy with the audience? I guess, man, that could also be, Disney realizing that they've hit peak apathy by coming out and saying, guys, the Acolyte has actually broke records. You don't understand. 4.8 million views. Does that mean viewers? No, it doesn't. 4.8 million views. And what is a view on Disney Plus? Don't know. And 4.8. Can anybody verify that? Oh, yeah, right. Disney can. Oh, okay, cool. So you're lying to us and you can't allow us to double check your work? Fantastic stuff. But it reaches 4.8 million views in one day. Cool. That's also 2 episodes because they dropped 2 episodes at once. So what do we have? A similar Doctor Who type situation where you have, 2.5, 2.6 million people check out the first one and then it just drops off from there? We're never going to figure out, okay? Unless Samba TV, which they're spottier, and Leslye Headland's drawers, it comes to, releasing their viewership numbers, and we're never going to get a Nielsen rating on this, so we just have to go with, the word of mouth of Disney saying that it's the biggest Disney Plus launch, of 2024. It's like, bruh, we know the viewership's trash, okay, when you have to put that qualifier on there, okay, because what else has your Disney Plus put out that's at least of note? I'm sure that there's some things that have been out there, but don't even register on my radar, so it can't be that significant. You had Echo at the beginning of the year, bet you forgot that one came out, and X-Men 97, the low water mark for Disney, okay, the worst performing show for Marvel in the D Plus era. That says something. So the fact that the Acolyte is the tallest midget, exactly the win that you think it is. The Acolyte, Disney Plus' newest Star Wars series, reached 4.8 million views in its first day of availability. This marks the streamer's biggest series premiere of 2024, according to Disney. The exact first day viewership total isn't available for Ahsoka. Interesting, okay? Because for better or for worse, there was at least the hype surrounding that. Okay, you had Rosario Dawson, you had the Clone Wars people, you had the Rebels people, you had people going, it's Thrawn, he's gonna Thrawn, and we're gonna have Anakin in there, he's gonna return since the first time he's returned since 2022's Obi-Wan Kenobi show, but nobody remembers that, okay? The Star Wars viewership and the Star Wars fan base that Kathleen Kennedy and Disney wants to cultivate, they have the memory of a goldfish, so of course they're just gonna lap up whatever is put in front of them, so what we can say is, Ahsoka at least had some forward momentum. The Acolyte, well, this is a show that has been done, reshot, rewritten several different times over the course of several years, and, well, they just had to finally release it. And because 2024 is the year of, we have no content, they just decided, yeah, we'll just hold on to it until June so we could at least try to get that Pride Month bump. But this year, yeah, nobody's doing that Pride Month stuff anymore. But to just simply finish out this thought right here, yeah, the Ahsoka, the most recent Star Wars series, though Disney did report it took 5 days to reach 14 million views. Yeah, because you see, that's what they normally do, okay? They don't normally announce the overnights. They just wait for the +4 consolidated, which a lot of day-and-date streaming shows kind of do in today's day and age. So yeah, that comes to an average of about 2.8 million views per day, 2 million per, below the launch of the Acolyte. Oh, interesting. Yeah, a view is calculated by dividing the number of hours each title is watched by its runtime. Which, yeah, those episodes, I think they were like, the first one was 40, the low 40s, and then the second one was 37 minutes long or something like that. And those are apparently some of the longer episodes. Remember, $180 million for 4 hours of content. You wonder how Disney continues to do it. But this show, man, like, I'm looking forward to, and we talked about it, several people have talked about it, just about the entire internet has talked about what is ultimately coming for us in the 3rd and 4th episodes. The 3rd episode of the origin story for May, Osha, and her lesbian mother scissoring so hard they created a forced baby. It's going to be something, man, and I'm looking forward to the conversation surrounding that next week. But by the time that this is all said and done, this is going to be the single worst piece of Disney content, Disney Star Wars content, ever. Might not have the biggest impact, even if they rewrite the origin story of the Force, even if they make it canon that you can have, black non-binary Jesus allegories. It's obviously the fact that they have to come out with such convoluted statistics to say that it's a big success. Like, there's no future for the show. There won't be a season 2, but Leslye Headland apparently has dreams of continuing her one trick. The Acolyte creator Leslye Headland wants to do a live-action Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic project centered on Kreia. Start writing emails, start crowdfunding. That's very interesting, right? Like, we don't need to read the rest of this article because, yeah, she just wants to take a Knights of the Old Republic 2 character and make it lame and gay because that's what Leslye Headland does with everything. But the fact of the matter is that she needs to start petitioning the audience. This is also what Ewan McGregor did. Okay, a bit of a step down here from the former Harvey Weinstein personal assistant, Obi-fucking-Wan Kenobi. You're trying to get a season 2 when you have all of the prequel resources right there at the ready, and Disney, Kathleen Kennedy specifically, doesn't want to do anything with that. Looking at the script from season 1, nobody's really knocking down the door on season 2, so I kind of understand that. But he's out there going, hey guys, we know that it was like a big success for the first episode. So funny. Go ahead and take a look at the articles back on that. Obi-Wan Kenobi, the Disney Plus show, it was setting streaming records. Oh my god, like 20 million people tuned in for it. I forget the exact numbers, but it was a huge success. Trust us, bro. That's our source on this. But they couldn't get a season 2. And you have the Acolyte, at least at a point in time right now where Star Wars has been more relevant than it's been. Not for the reasons that they normally want it to be, but it's at least being talked about. Like, it's still a few days after its release trending on social media, and that seems to be the only metric that Disney and Lucasfilm care about, so at least somebody's talking about it. And oh boy, there's going to be a lot of conversation after this upcoming Tuesday. Holy crap. But is that really translating into success? Start writing emails, start crowdfunding. That tells me that I think Lucasfilm finally realizes that, there's only so much we can do to really piss off our fan base. So yeah, thanks for your fantastic Leslye Headland show. Remember, this is the script that was presented to Kathleen Kennedy, and she cried after reading it, maybe because she finally came to her senses and realized, oh my god, I've killed off the once greatest cinematic franchise of all time. Or maybe they are just that far gone. I kind of think it's the latter in this case. And the latter, something that Leslye Headland better attach to the top of her Subaru because she needs to change in career after this is all said and done, because who in the blue hell is going to hire her after this abomination wraps up? So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.